and the Washington Redskins are as synonymous as eggnog and office parties. Where you find one, you usually find the other. In the past decade, the Giants' success has been mirrored by Washington glory. 2 Super Bowls for each franchise. Domination of the NFC East and the devotion of their fans. But now, as those memories fade, together they share the pain of rebuilding as a losing hangover carries into the new year. But with it comes hope of resurgence. It's cold. It's dark. It's December. It's the Giants and Skins next on Fox. It is cold. It is December. It is Giant Stadium. Few empty seats, but getting ready to battle in the NFC East as the Washington Redskins have come up the coast to take on the New York Giants. And hello, everybody. My name is Joe Buck, along with my partner, Tim Green. Now, Tim, here are these two teams. End of the year. Playoff hopes even mathematically are dead for each side. But here are the Redskins coming off a season sweep with the Dallas Cowboys. And lately, Norv Turner's had a lot to be proud of.
He has, but he's still got a big question mark at quarterback with Heath Schuler. One thing he knows, though, he can run the football with Terry Allen. Now, everyone knows Norv Turner is an offensive guy, but when we spoke to him yesterday, he talked mostly about his defense, and he says that unit is playing with more pride than he's ever seen. The slowest area to develop on his defense has been the defensive line. Their best lineman, Sterling Palmer, will be out today. He will be replaced by a very enthusiastic rookie, Rich Owens. Now, Owens is going to need all the enthusiasm he can get because he's going up against Big Jumbo Elliott.
Well, it's December in Giant Stadium. You can see our bad breath blowing around in the air up here in the booth, and that means, as usual, the Giants will be running the football.
Speak for your own breath. Everybody's going to run the football today, but Dave Brown knows the stadium, and he knows the wind. He knows when the wind is to his back, he's got to take his shots at the end zone, putting the ball in the air. Other than that, it's going to be Rodney Hampton. Now, Tyrone Wheatley is out with a hip injury, so Hampton will not have the luxury of resting every third series as he has in the last few games.
Well, a lot of people will get to know the wind today here at Giant Stadium, and so far the wind hasn't been too kind. Get out your warmest blanket, chip the ice off your couch. Opening kickoff. Giants and Skins coming up next, right here on Fox. And welcome back to Giant Stadium. Washington has won the toss. They will receive the early games. Dallas and Philly tied at 17 late. Atlanta leading New Orleans. They need a win in their dome. San Francisco all over Carolina. Same with Buffalo all over St. Louis. That is not a final yet, but Buffalo will win there. Other early games. Cincinnati taking care of Chicago up by 6. Detroit leading at Houston by 7 late. Indianapolis all over Jacksonville. And the Jets leading New England. With a minute left, I am told the Philadelphia Eagles have just taken the lead over the Dallas Cowboys. So that division is still not over. A field goal by Gary Anderson has put the Eagles on top. So the NFC East, which really has been all but handed to the Dallas Cowboys, is not theirs yet. Brad Delwiso getting ready to kick it away for the Giants with Brian Mitchell and William Bell back deep for Washington. And it doesn't matter about the records. All that matters is that it's the Giants and the Redskins. So we expect to have a lot of fun, a hard-hitting day, and a cold day here in New Jersey. So the Redskins will get the first look at the football. And we'll get a look at Heath Schuler early, who has never played here at Giant Stadium. Enjoy it. Hill has it go over his head and out of the end zone, and the Redskins will start with it at their own 20. Led to the field by Heath Schuler, the quarterback, helping the Skins beat Dallas a week ago. The youngest quarterback to beat the Cowboys since 1986. Protected by this offensive line. Joe Patton, Ray Brown, John Giesick, Trey Johnson and Ed Simmons getting back to that hog look on the offensive front. Terry Allen, the running back, having a great year, over 1,000 yards. Mark Logan is the fullback. Leslie Shepard and Henry Ellard started the wide receiver spots. And the tight end is Scott Galbraith. First play of the day is a play action. Schuler trying to outrun Harrison. He cannot. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage, and for Robert Harris, that's his 5th sack of the year.
One of the things the Redskins want to do today is allow Heath Schuler to run, but when he runs, he's got to be able to beat those defensive linemen to the corner.
Michael Westbrook checks in. This is only his 9th game in the NFL. He's had a knee problem. He's had an ankle problem. But the Redskins expect him to be a problem for the Giants secondary. Second down and 11 after a loss of 1, and Terry Allen tries to bounce it outside, and he's upended by Vincey Glenn. Give you a look at the Giants defense after a gain of 2 by Terry Allen. Up front, Strahan, Agnew, Keith Hamilton, who has a bad back, and Robert Harris. The linebackers, Michael Brooks in the middle, an undersized middle linebacker, Kroll and Miller flanking, and then the secondary, Randolph and Felipe Sparks on the corners. The safeties, Vincey Glenn and Jesse Campbell, and Felipe Sparks is having what would be considered a Pro Bowl type year.
If he was with a winning playoff team, no doubt Felipe Sparks would be traveling to Hawaii in February.
6 defensive backs into the game on 3rd and 9. Schuler gets out of trouble. He can run but can't find a first down. Forced out of bounds by Sparks. And 3 and out for the Redskins to start.
Jamal Duff, the young rookie defensive end, was the guy who really got the pressure on Schuler. Now, Duff allowed Schuler to escape outside of it. Felipe Sparks came up and saved it from being a first down conversion, but Duff did get in Schuler's face enough to not allow Schuler to move his vision downfield and find an open receiver.
Thomas Lewis waiting for the punt from Matt Turk. Very good punt, and Lewis from inside the 25 lost it, and the Redskins recover inside the 15-yard line.
This is one thing that both coaches spoke about yesterday. Dan Reeves and Norv Turner said it's going to be a cold, windy day. We're going to try to run the ball, control the ball, and both of them wanted to eliminate these kind of mistakes on the special teams.
James Jenkins, the tight end, will come away with it as Thomas Lewis, the second-year player who's been banged up with a bad foot, hasn't had a lot of playing time. Well, it showed right there. Arthur Marshall had been returning punts, and now after the turnover, the Redskins have it inside the Giant 15. And not a good start for Thomas Lewis. 2 tight ends into the formation for the Redskins, and Terry Allen bangs it down to the 12, maybe the 11. And turnovers were really a big part of the final result the first time these 2 teams met.
Yeah, only the first time it was the Redskins who turned the ball over 5 times.
Terry Allen over 1,000 yards for the season. And Norv Turner trying to get something rolling here at the end of the year, and you get the feeling that the Washington Redskins are definitely headed in the right direction. But they will need help through the draft and free agent pickups to make that next step.
We talked about the Redskins having a run game, having Terry Allen. Last week they had a big day running the ball against the Dallas Cowboys. And although the Dallas Cowboys have a more talented defensive line than the New York Giants, I think the Giants' defensive front matches up better. They're bigger, stronger, a more physical group that can play the run better than the Cowboys.
Having a clock problem, Jerry Austin is our referee today.
Please set the ejector clock to 12:40.
Game clock right now is showing 13:17. And it needs to be 12:40. And don't tell me they're going to run it off from 30:36 down to 12:40. We don't have that much film material. I mean, come on, it's 4-9 against 4-9.
You can talk now. Don't say you don't have that much film material.
They set it to 12:40. And we're ready to go. 2nd down and 7 after a gain of 3 by Terry Allen.
Saved by the clock.
Thank the good Lord. Michael Westbrook is in the lineup for Washington, and they run. Allen inside the 10 and brought down around the 7. And a third down facing Washington inside the Giant 10.
One of the things that you will see Terry Allen do all day is hit the hole and hit the hole fast. He comes out of the backfield like a stiletto, like a spring-loaded knife, where he makes a very quick decision. He either follows his lead block or he puts it on autopilot and finds another hole. But whatever he does, he makes a fast decision.
Terry Allen, the former Minnesota Viking, hoping to be a part of the Redskins next season. Allen, 3rd and 3. He's inside the 5 and brought down just short of a first down. Jamal Duff, who we will feature at halftime, was there to make the stop. And it will be just short of a first down, I do believe.
Terry Allen, here he is, very quick, hitting the hole. Jesse Armstead's the one who gets through and makes the hit on him right there, knocks his feet out from under him. That's a nice play because Armstead has to take his feet out from under him. If he doesn't take Allen's base away, Allen keeps going and gets the first down.
So it was Armstead, and Allen was indeed short of a first down, and now on 4th and less than 1, a timeout is called by the Giants. They'll talk it over defensively, as will Schuler and North Turner. 4th and less than 1 when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By AT&T, your true choice. And by IBM, solutions for a small planet.
Well, a mishandled punt on the part of Thomas Lewis has given the Redskins an early chance, but they have a 4th and 1, maybe even less than 1, inside the Giant 5. Schuler will take it and get it.
And Heath Schuler takes that ball exactly where you would expect him to take it. Over his right side, over Trey Johnson, his 350-pound guard right here, and Ed Simmons, his 340-pound tackle. And that's the place where you know you're going to get the surge, and there's a big surge there for Schuler, not only to get inches, but actually get a couple of yards.
So it is a first down, 1st and goal from inside the Giant 4. No score early on. Terry Allen thrown backward and right in the middle of it. Michael Brooks, Corey Whitmer, and Coleman Rudolph.
One of the things the Redskins did to the Giants last week, they ran off the right side and they pulled Ray Brown from this side. You're going to see him come around and pull in the hole. The Giants knew today that they had to get their linebackers and safeties up into that hole, and it's Vency Glenn, 25 right there, who actually beats Ray Brown to the hole, knocks him off, and Corey Whitmer is able to make the tackle.
Now 2nd down and goal after a loss of 2. Schuler sacked. Hamilton falls on top of him. His 2nd sack of the year.
The Redskins play fake the same play, that same running play that they were so successful with against Dallas, the same play that the Giants stopped on the previous play. Giants defensive back showing great discipline, covering up Schuler's receivers, and then Hamilton showing great perseverance getting to the quarterback.
2nd New York sack here early. And on 3rd and goal from outside the 10, Schuler's going to put it up. Sacked again, Strahan.
Strahan did that 2 times last week against the Arizona Cardinals, forcing Dave Craig to fumble the ball. Joe Patton, the left tackle, should have known that it was coming, should have known that Strahan was going to rip up, race around, and get to the quarterback. That's a nice emergence play for Michael Strahan, a guy who really is starting to develop on this Giants defensive line.
7.5 sacks now for Strahan. 3 early sacks in the first 5.5 minutes of the game for the Giants defense. And now trying the 36-yarder. Murray short.
The wind nailed that kick.
into the teeth of the wind, and the elements here at Giant Stadium jump up and fight the Redskins.
That is a huge turnover and a huge series for the Giants defense.
Washington gets the turnover, can't punch it in. Giants hold, and Thomas Lewis feeling a lot better about himself.
The wind in Giant Stadium comes out of the west, scoops around the top of the stadium, and heads this way right into Eddie Murray's last kick. Watch the height Murray gets on this ball. This is not the kind of kick you want. It gets too high because the higher you go in the stadium, the stronger the force of the wind.
And it was well short, only a 36-yarder, and Eddie Murray, one of the best in the history of the league, short. And the Giants have it. Quick snap count. They give it to their fullback, Charles Way. He crosses the 30 and gets to the 32. Dave Brown is the quarterback for the New York Giants. 3-0 against the Redskins, and for the year 10 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. Protected by Elliott, Bishop, Williams in the middle, Zadiska and Riesenberg on the right side. Rodney Hampton is the running back. We already saw Way. Pearson, Sherrard, Callaway, and Cross. Hampton gets nothing. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage, and good force up front by Rich Owens. Up front for the Redskins defensively, no Sterling Palmer. Rich Owens gets the start along with Gaines, Boutte, and Tony Woods. The linebackers anchored by Rod Stevens in the middle. Ken Harvey having a great year at outside linebacker. The secondary, Darrell Green and Carter on the corners. The safeties, Stanley Richard and James Washington. 3rd down and 5, and 2 tight ends into the game for the Giants. Over the middle, pass looked tipped. It was. Sherrard makes the catch and gets a first down. On a tip pass to Sherrard, and Brown starts out 1 for 1.
That was really a nice second effort by Mike Sherrard to pick up this first down. Giants offensive line giving Brown nice time. Now remember, Brown has the wind to his back, so the passes are safe. This one is tipped. Sherrard brings it in, and here it is. This is the second effort that gets the first down, because when he's first hit, he's short of that marker.
And on the play, James Washington, who has had a tough time with injuries this season, is down after a gain of 8. And a fresh set of downs for the Giants.
One thing about injuries today, when the weather is this cold, every injury, despite the severity of it, will hurt twice as much as it normally does. When the body gets tight and the bones get brittle, it just, no matter what the impact, it's going to hurt twice as bad.
Keith Taylor, a 7th-year player from Illinois, comes into the lineup while they check out James Washington, who was a big part of the Redskins' win last week in Dallas. And by the way, the Cowboys have lost. By the way, the Cowboys have lost today in Philadelphia.
Here he is right here, James Washington. He comes up and gets his hip. I mean, he hits Sherrard up high, and who knows what he hit there. But it's Sherrard's bouncing off of that hit, again, that picked up the first down for the Giants. Their #1 goal today was to minimize their 3-and-out. So they've already got 1 first down. They're resting their defense on the sideline.
It is a first down from their own 39. Screen pass to Hampton. Penalty flag on the play, and Hampton has a first down inside Washington territory, but a flag is down. Gain of 15. Keith Taylor made the tackle, but this one's coming back. Ineligible man downfield.
Always the danger when you run a screen pass that one of your linemen will jump the gun, get a little over enthusiastic, and start downfield. And it may be Rob Zadiska, a rookie, and you would expect that for most rookies. Maybe not him, because we talked before the game. He's a 4.0. He had a 4.0 GPA at Nebraska, so.
He is guilty of picking up the first Giant penalty of the day.
Here he is right here, Zadiska. Now, he gets his block. He does a nice job of faking. And what he does is he just gets too much depth. He loses his concentration, loses his focus, and gets downfield.
So now 1st and 15, a 15-yard gain wiped out, and this is Hampton. We're trying the left side. big hole, and Rodney Hampton across the Giant 45.
Rob Zadiska, Hampton makes a nice run, but Zadiska redeems himself on this play after the penalty. Always, you want to get your opportunity. Watch him pull and make the lead block on the linebacker, which springs Hampton. There it is, right there. He eats up Ken Harvey, and then Hampton does a nice job of cutting back against the grain of the defense.
Good for 12, and now on 2nd and 3, Brown dumps it off to Hampton. He is met at midfield and brought down right at the first down marker by Ken Harvey. Hampton gets the first down for the Giants.
Once again, Hampton's endurance will be tested today. Normally, he's spelled every third series, at least lately in the season, by Tyrone Wheatley. Wheatley out with a hip injury. Hampton's going to have to carry the load.
Tyrone Wheatley has had 3 injuries that have held him out of play this season, his rookie year, and you have to really wonder about his durability. Here's Hampton again. He's been busy. He has a big hole, and he's got a first down inside the Washington 35. And James Washington back into the game made the tackle for the Redskins.
The Redskins defensively today wanted to bring their safeties up and get them involved in the run game to bring down Hampton. That time the safeties don't get to him until he gets downfield. It's the right guard and the right tackle on the double team that really get a nice wash. And then Riesenberg comes off and hits the linebacker as well. And then there's the 2 safeties, 24 and 37, tackling Hampton much too far downfield if the Redskins are going to stop the run.
Rodney Hampton off to a good start. 3 carries, 27 yards, and add a couple to it. He got a couple as he changed direction, brought down by Boutte.
If you love football, you've got to love Rodney Hampton. He is like an old county truck, you know, in the county highway department, with a double-blade snowplow on his nose. He's tough, he's durable, and he doesn't do anything fancy, but he just hits those guys like a snowbank and just blasts them to either side.
A lot of talk that he would definitely be gone. He will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year when they drafted Tyrone Wheatley, and that's not a for sure thing any longer. Here's a completion to Howard Cross. He's inside the 25 and very close, and has another Giant first down.
Dave Brown got no pressure from the Redskins defensive line on that play, and really so far he's gotten no pressure on any of his pass plays. Now there's several reasons for that. One, obviously, is the Giants have got a very strong physical offensive line. The other is the success they've had with their play pass to keep those guys soft. And the other is Dave Brown's quick count, which makes a defensive lineman hesitate.
He's 3 for 3 for 20 yards, and on first down inside the 25, it's Hampton on the right side. Another nice gain on first down inside the 20. Under 3.5 to play here in the first quarter, no score, and the Giants are doing what they wanted to coming in, and that is hang on to the football and sustain a long drive.
And they've run the ball, they've picked up first downs, they've rested their defense. Dave Brown, as you said, is 3 for 3 passing. Don't forget, part of that is because the wind is at his back.
We may see Keith Elias on third down throughout the course of this game. 2nd down and 2, and Hampton met immediately by William Gaines. And what a good play by the second-year player from Florida.
Gaines did a nice job of getting inside body position on Greg Bishop and just forcing his way into that hole, hitting Hampton at the line.
3rd down and 2, and so far what you thought would happen coming in has happened, and that is the Giants are keeping it on the ground, or when they do throw, very short passes. Hampton just did get back to the line of scrimmage, so 3rd down and 2. Brown has pressure and is sacked. Brought down by Mark Boutte, his 2nd sack of the year, and now it's 4th down for New York.
We talked about Boutte last night with the coordinator. Here he is right here. He comes through the line on this play just unblocked. I mean, nobody picks him up. Rob Zadiska, the rookie, 73 right there, is the guy who's guilty on this one of just letting Boutte blow right up through the middle and sack Brown. So we've seen Zadiska. He's 1 for 3 right now. We saw a nice block, but he had a mental error on the penalty and a mental error on the sack.
Brad Delwiso will try a 37-yarder to put the Giants on top, and he is becoming one of the best in the NFL. So Delwiso is good, and the Giants take the lead here in the first quarter. Pay attention early. This might be a quick game. Each team keeping it on the ground, and late in the first quarter, the Giants lead by 3. Well, Dallas did lose at Philadelphia. Now 1 game separates the two. Meanwhile, Dallas will host the Giants next weekend. So it's over in the NFC East for the bottom 3. Arizona, the Giants, and Washington. But at the top, still a battle for the division, which early on was just handed to the Dallas Cowboys.
And how about Philadelphia's run after a very rough start early in the season?
They started out poorly. Ray Rhodes had the guts to bench Randall Cunningham, and that has paid off. Brian Mitchell waiting for the kick, and false start as the football blows off the tee. Here's one of the best in the NFL, if not the best.
Well, he's the best on, is it punt returns or kick returns?
He's the best in the NFL on kick returns, and the best
almost
in the NFL on the punt returns. He is one of the best.
He definitely is. But in the first game, the Giants special teams, which really have not been great this year, were able to shut Brian Mitchell down. Mitchell feels like today he's got something to prove.
Well, Delwiso, hoping that the ball will stay on the tee, gets rid of it. And this will be Mitchell from around the 10. Tripped up across the 25, and that's where the Redskins will start with it. Redskins will have it for the 3rd time today after an 18-yard return by Mitchell. Skins are down by 3.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
Heath Schuler and the Redskins start with it. 1st and 10 at their own 28. This is Terry Allen, and met at the 30-yard line. And forced backward by Michael Brooks, who is not a big middle linebacker by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's not. That's been Brooks's problem, and people have criticized him for that more than anything. He's light. He's too light to play on the inside. Corey Widmer is actually the most physical of those linebackers, but the Giants want Brooks out there for his leadership.
Made 90 tackles and is hoping that he can help turn this Giants defense around, which comes into the game 17th in the NFL. Over the middle and caught by the tight end Jamie Asher. And we'll check in on that wild Cowboy Philly finish on a McDonald's game break. Back to Hollywood and James Brown.
Well, Buck, here's what it looked like. 4th and 1 from their own 29. Emmitt Smith stopped. Dallas did not punt the ball, tried to go for it, got stopped. Here is the game winner. Gary Anderson, 42-yarder. That broke the tie, and the Eagles up in the Cowboys 20-17. Back to Joe Buck and Tim Green.
And next week, Philadelphia will host Arizona. Here's Schuler on 1st down, dumps it off. Asher again, all alone until he gets to the Giant 40 and has another Washington 1st down, a gain of 15.
Because of the Redskins' defensive emergence, Norv Turner has been able to be patient with Heath Schuler. When I say patient, I mean allow him to throw the short and easy passes early. Schuler is like a kid that you want to teach to hit a baseball. First you put the ball on the tee, then you throw pitch it, then you give him the fast pitch.
Well, he will get the fast pitch look from the Giants defense here today. So far at the end of 1 quarter, New York leading Washington 3-0.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Cold day in December here at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, home of the New York Giants, home of the New York Jets. And that will be a very popular place, that hot seat over on the sideline, as the Redskins get ready for a 1st and 10 at the Giant 46. Inside the 15, down to the 11. Finally brought down by Corey Miller, a gain of 29.
Well, that's a fantastic run by Allen, but it's an even better block by Trey Johnson. This guy is 350 pounds. The thing that makes him special is he can move, and look at that block right there. He just blasts that hole open for Terry Allen. This is a guy who's about 3 meals short of a rhinoceros who's running out there and beating Allen to the hole.
Very nice. Very nice. First down from just outside the 10, and the rhinoceros and the rest of his Zooland pals didn't block too well that time.
That's because Ray Agnew got right up in the gap right now and didn't allow Trey Johnson to get anywhere in front of him, and he's helped out by Keith Hamilton. Watch Agnew getting right up inside, and Hamilton 75 right there. Both of those guys penetrate, so Hamilton learned when Johnson pulled on the previous play, Hamilton stayed in his stance. He'd never caught up to the play. This time he was ready, and he hit Allen before Allen hit the line.
A loss of 1, second down and 11. Schuler, who is 2 for 2, now 3 for 3. Terry Allen on a screen, down to the 1. Brought down right at the first down marker by Tito Wooten.
Terry Allen really has an amazing story. 6 seasons in the NFL. 2 of them spent out with total knee reconstructions. That a lot of times 1 knee construction is enough to end a running back's career, and then 3 out of his other 4 he's put together 1,000-yard years.
He has one this year, over 1,000 coming in, 1,021, and now third down and 1, a very short one inside the Giant 5-yard line. Play action on third and 1. Nowhere for Schuler to throw, and he is out of bounds and sacked. This is no throw. He was out of bounds, and the play will be whistled dead back at the 17-yard line, and that's the 4th Giant sack today.
And that's Coleman Rudolph using great hand strength. Rudolph, a guy from Georgia, 91, rushing up the right-hand side of the offense. There he is. He gets a hold of Schuler. Watch him. He gets his hand on his jersey and just pulls him enough to make Schuler step out of bounds. Not this foot here, but his left foot. So Schuler steps out of bounds. He's out. It's a sack. Nice play by Coleman Rudolph.
4 sacks here at the start for the Giants defense. And we talked about Schuler getting that fast pitch. He is getting it from the Giants here at the start. 35-yard try now with the wind, and Murray ties the game. So Eddie Murray is good from 35. And he's tied the game. Back and forth, back and forth. Second quarter, Giants and Redskins tied at 3.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. And by Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you.
Well, as expected, into the second quarter, we're tied at only 3. Not a lot of points today. And a lot of the running game for each side. Eddie Murray set to kick it away. With the wind, able to get it just inside the 10 to Thomas Lewis. Has blocking, is across the 35, outrunning Eddie Murray. Thomas Lewis inside the 20. Stanley Richard, the only man to beat. Touchdown, New York. No flags. And the Giants take the lead.
Talk about redemption on the football field. You won't see any better redemption for a player than this run by Thomas Lewis. A 90-yard return after he fumbled the punt. He got his hands warm, got the sensation, got nice blocked from his return team. And then he's got guys to beat, and watch the effort by the Giants. Look at these other guys racing downfield. Herschel Walker, 34, really springs him with the block on Stanley Richard to get him into the end zone. Stanley Richard was the only guy who had a chance to shut him down, and Walker blocked him.
So our first touchdown of the day from Thomas Lewis on the kick return, and Dalwiso punches the extra point through. Thomas Lewis, second-year player from Indiana. Special teams will play a big part in the final result today. So far, the Giants winning that battle. Well, the first career return for a touchdown in the young career of Thomas Lewis, a #1 pick last year. And Thomas Lewis puts the Giants on top, leading 10-3, and the wind is really whipping around down there. Again, blows the ball off the tee as Dalwiso gets set to kick it back to Washington.
That 90-yard run by Lewis took him 16 seconds. Now, Lewis is supposed to be a fast guy.
Dalwiso into the wind. Very short. Taken by Mitchell, and he is hit and dropped. Jason Sehorn, the first one to meet Brian Mitchell.
Here's the 90-yard return. Here's Lewis, and here's Herschel Walker. Now remember where these guys start. They start out even. Nice work by the front four wedge here to block. Now Herschel's with him. Herschel throws a backside block. Lewis gets going, and Thomas Lewis has been injured, and I've got to believe after he beats the kicker that he just runs out of gas. Oh, watch Herschel use his speed on the outside to make this block that really does spring Lewis into the end zone.
1st and 10 from their own 21 for the Redskins, and Terry Allen with a cutback and met by Jamal Duff. Well, they got a steal, the Giants did. A 6th-round draft selection, Jamal Duff from San Diego State. He's going to be a keeper.
Yeah, he is going to get better and better. Duff is 6'7", 270 pounds with room to grow. He's the kind of guy that can fill out over the offseason. He can gain 10 or 20 pounds.
Tim Green's book on feature this week is on Jamal Duff, and that will come your way at halftime. Allen got back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10, and that's Jamie Asher, picked up only a couple. Jamie Asher is a tight end who you haven't heard much about so far, but will in the future. He had a tough time with a hamstring problem in training camp. Missed a lot of action early, but he is going to be one of the better pass-catching tight ends in the league.
The thing that's very impressive about Asher is that he missed almost all of training camp. He missed 6 weeks with his pulled hamstring, so he really missed that basic work that you need as a rookie, but now he's really starting to emerge in this offense. He's running the patterns and catching the nice balls.
He's caught 3 for 35 yards. 3rd down and 5 for the Redskins. Quick slant and caught. Caught by Michael Westbrook for a 1st down, and Heath Shuler has yet to throw an incomplete pass. And that's true only because of a very good catch by Westbrook.
A very good catch by Westbrook, and he may not have thrown an incomplete pass, but he's been sacked several times and run out of bounds. 4 times to be exact, if you're counting.
Shuler started out 5 for 5 for 56 yards. Now back to Terry Allen. Got a couple at best. Mike Kroll in the middle of it for the Giants, and Stacy Dillard comes off the pile last. Allen got 2.
We talked about Allen's knee injuries, but despite that, despite having 2 total knee constructions on both knees, not 2 on each knee, but 1 on either side, he has been really durable. And the guy who the Minnesota Vikings chose to replace him and keep, Robert Smith, look at his durability. Allen proving to be the better choice of the 2.
2nd down and 8. Asher dropped it, and right in the middle of it was the umpire. Michael Brooks there defending, but the umpire couldn't get out of the way quick enough, and that's the first incomplete pass of the day for either quarterback.
The umpires really break up more passes in the middle than any middle linebacker could ever hope to do.
That, of course, Scott Dawson right in the middle of it all.
More passes defended probably than any defensive back in the league. Here he is right there, and look at that work. He breaks Asher's concentration because he blocks the vision of the ball.
3rd down and 8. Over the middle, Westbrook. A 1st down and into Giants territory, and got a block from Asher. And the second catch on this drive by Michael Westbrook, good for 13. Michael Westbrook filling a role for Norv Turner, and doesn't look too much unlike Michael Irvin, who Norv coached in Dallas, at least physically, and they can only hope that he becomes half as good as Irvin has become in Dallas.
A lot of people have been disappointed with Westbrook's production this year, but you have to remember, when a guy is injured, it's not his fault. And players get hurt all the time, and when their productivity drops because of injuries, you can't hold it against the player.
Downfield for Westbrook, incomplete. Westbrook was open behind Vincey Glenn, but couldn't hang on.
And you can't blame Vincey Glenn for this. Westbrook just burns Thomas Randolph right here, 23 for the Giants. They were going to go after him all day. Now, he went for the shot on Westbrook to try to slow him down, and then he just drops the cover, forces Vincey Glenn to come back, get over the top, and then Westbrook just drops it.
That throw was with the wind for Schuler, and he definitely underthrew Michael Westbrook, who had to come back and couldn't make the catch. Schuler now 6 out of 8 and faced with 2nd and 10. Dump off to Mitchell. Shakes one. Can't shake another as Felipe Sparks wrestles him down at the Giant 45, a gain of 3.
We talked about Felipe Sparks being an all-pro player. There's a lot of cornerbacks in the league that can cover. Felipe Sparks can do that almost as well as anyone. The other thing he can do is come off of his coverage and make nice, solid downfield tackles.
He'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, and if you ask Dan Reeves, the #1 priority of the Giants in the offseason is to bring Felipe Sparks back.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made him their franchise player.
3rd down and 7. Schuler the pump fake through the hands of Mitchell and off the hands of Asher. 2 different Redskin receivers had a chance at it. Neither one come away, and it's time for Washington to punt.
And how about Coleman Rudolph, a defensive lineman, with the coverage on Mitchell? Rudolph right here in the middle of the screen drops out, and he comes up with the coverage. Mitchell just lets it go through his hands. The pass is too high, but it's a nice reaction by a guy who's a defensive lineman.
With Thomas Lewis, who has a mishandled punt and a kick return for a touchdown, not waiting for this punt from Turk. Instead, it's Arthur Marshall. He'll let it go over his head. What a good play downfield by Pounds, and it's down inside the 5 by the Redskins. What great work by Darryl Pounds, one of the better young special teams players in the league. Terry Crews there to fall on top of it, and the Giants will start with it inside their own 5.
In a game full of wind and weather where field position is critical, it's this play by Darryl Pounds that coaches may look back on and say, this made the difference in the game. Notice the concentration. He leaps up, keeps himself out of the end zone to bat that ball back.
You add all of this up, and throughout the National Football League, the Redskins have the best special teams in the NFL.
And Darryl Pounds is one of the reasons for it.
43-yard punt, and the Giants start with it from their own 3, and Hampton is brought down near the goal line. What a good play by William Gaines. Loss of 2.
We saw William Gaines beat Greg Bishop earlier in the day, get behind the line of scrimmage on Hampton, and this is the last place you want a defensive lineman roaming around in your backfield. Here he comes right past Bishop. Now, Bishop does have a bad knee, and if his knee's going to be that bad, he better come out of the game and let Adam Schreiber fill in for him.
3rd tackle here in the first half for Gaines. Hampton was brought down about a yard short of a safety, and now it's Bishop jumping early, and this will probably cost the Giants even more yardage.
William Gaines is winning not only a physical but a mental battle against Greg Bishop right now.
Half of this is to the goal. It's still 2nd down.
I mean, he beat him physically on the last play. He beats him mentally on this play because Bishop is thinking not about the snap count. He's thinking about William Gaines, and when Gaines moves, Bishop's moves.
I mean, and the pawn and the queen and the knight.
Yeah, Bishop to queen 7. He's moving backwards.
Queens is far away from the Meadowlands, from just inside the 1. This is Hampton. He gets a yard and a half at best, and the Giants, who have only their second offensive possession in more than a quarter and a half, are doing nothing this time they have the football.
I've got to tell you this. It's very impressive that Greg Bishop, with his sprained knee, the coaches did not think he would even play in this game. And it's impressive that he's shown his toughness by coming back. But sometimes when you're hurt, and if you're hurting the team, you've got to know to take yourself out.
Back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 to the flats for Pierce. Aaron Pierce will not get the first down. Brought down a couple short in time for the Giants to punt. And what a good stand by the Washington defense. So the Giants started with it at their own 3, unable to get a first down, and now time for Horan to punt. His first punt of the afternoon. Brian Mitchell, number 1 in the NFL, averaging 13.4 yards per punt return, waiting deep. And the Redskins down by 7 on to end up with great field position. Horan punting into the wind, an ugly punt and out of bounds inside the Giant 45. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. How successful have the Giants been in December since moving into Giant Stadium in 1976? The answer when we come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Oldsmobile.
The answer to our Aflac trivia question: since 1976, the Giants' December record here at Giant Stadium, 24-14. And I know it looks strange to see just 0-1 against Washington, but lately this game has been played in Washington at RFK. Here's Terry Allen. As for the second time, the Washington Redskins start inside Giants territory. Allen with a good pickup on first down. He got 7.
But Terry Allen picked up 7 yards by cutting the ball back. And really on that play, when he goes back and looks at it on film on Monday morning, he's going to see that he should have followed Ray Brown up into the hole. But I think Terry Allen may have lost a little bit of confidence in that power O play.
2nd down and 3. 2 tight ends into the lineup for the Redskins. And here's Allen again. Follows his blocking and gets a first down inside the Giant 35. A San Francisco update on a McDonald's game break. Back to Hollywood and James Brown.
Joe Buck, San Francisco was not about to lose to Carolina a second time this season. Plenty of stars in this one, including J.J. Stokes. In a comfortable 31-10 victory, San Francisco controls its own destiny as far as home field in the NFC. Take it back to Joe Buck and Tim Green.
Boy, how the fortunes have changed for San Francisco and Dallas. Dallas struggling with back-to-back losses. San Francisco getting it going at the right time. Terry Allen has been getting it going, and he gets it to the 30. Stacy Dillard there to bring him down. Gain of 3. Terry Allen, one of the 1,000-yard rushers in the league this season, joined by Smith and Sanders and Warren and Curtis Martin, who is popped up on the scene in New England. How about Terrell Davis? Terry Allen is having a great first year with the Washington Redskins.
And you still have to go back to his knees and say that that is amazing to put those kind of numbers up. 3 out of 4 seasons that he played with 2 reconstructed knees.
Penalty flag on the play as Allen gets it to the 25. And we'll check the marker. And this will come back.
Illegal motion, number 88 of the offense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
You know, they say they still have questions about Heath Shuler, Tim. And granted, Heath Shuler and the Redskins won at Dallas last week. But a lot of those questions still aren't answered. He didn't win that game for the Redskins.
Right. He didn't lose the game, but he didn't actually go out and win. He didn't lose it because he threw for 150-some yards, and he had no interceptions. Only the second game he started where he did not throw an interception.
Does not have one so far today. Here's Westbrook thrown behind him and incomplete inside the 30. And a 3rd and 12 coming up. Tonight, Terry Bradshaw hosts a 1-hour special on Fox. Find out which one of your favorite athletes will become part of sports history. Watch the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year Award tonight, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on Fox.
Now, did Terry Bradshaw get involved with that because he won that Sportsman of the Year award in 1979? Is that how he got in on it?
Might very well be. 3rd down and 12, and Schuler on a slant, picked off. You talk about it, it happens. Tito Wooten back inside Washington territory and out of bounds at the 40.
That's just another bad pass by Heath Schuler. Now, what Norv Turner did is Schuler started hitting the tight end. He started hitting the ball off the tee. So Norv started to send a slow pitch at him because now he's throwing an intermediate route to Henry Ellard, and Ellard just can't make that ball. It's thrown too low and too far behind him, and just Ellard's attempt to catch the ball bounces it up right into the hands of Tito Wooten.
Wooten with a 35-yard return, and now the Giants have excellent field position at the Washington 40. Only 3:05 left to play here in the first half. And a little delay as we wait for the chain gang to figure out what end of the field they should work now.
I talked about the Giants' goals offensively to eliminate their 3-and-outs. Another goal offensively is when they get in plus territory, they want to come away with points.
Starting at the Washington 40, quick snap count, and Brown rolls out. Nowhere to throw, so he picks up a couple running, forced out of bounds by Marvcus Patton. Well, the Giants secondary strikes again in game 1 at RFK. The secondary had a big day as Mark Logan was bobbling the ball. Betsy Glenn picked it off, went 75 yards the other way to put the Giants on the scoreboard, and Felipe Sparks, who helped on this latest interception. He was the only one there waiting for it. They had 4 that day. They have 1 here this afternoon. And the Giants offense now faced with 2nd and 8. Hampton, big hole inside the 30 with a Giants first down.
This is something that the Redskins have struggled with all season. Their defensive line up front 4 has struggled against the run, and the Giants offensive line capitalizing on that, making blocks everywhere across the front, opening up a big hole for their county snowplow. There he is.
Who goes by the name of Hampton.
And he is tough.
Hampton. He is tough. He gets it again. He's been busy. On first down, he gets to the 25. That's it. Got about 1.5 yards, and we are already at the 2-minute warning. 1:59 left in the first half. Giants have the ball and a 7-point lead. Well, a couple of more weeks left to the NFL season after this weekend, and the top 6 in the NFC making the playoffs. Right now, Dallas, Green Bay, and San Francisco out in front in their divisions, but you have Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Detroit. A big win for Atlanta today, and Minnesota won yesterday. They're 8-6, and the Chicago Bears are fading fast. Meanwhile, next Saturday, it's a Fox NFL special. The Green Bay Packers take on the New Orleans Saints. Don't miss the red-hot Packers as they continue their march to the playoffs. Coverage begins 3:30 Eastern. Check local listings for the game and time in your area, and I guarantee you, if you check local listings, that'll be the game, and that'll be the time in your area.
I think the Packers have supplanted Dallas as the team to watch against the 49ers.
On 2nd down and 8, Dave Brown dumps it off. He finds Hampton, who gets to the 25. Good presence of mind by Dave Brown to avoid the sack, but Hampton able to just get back to the line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 8.
Well, that was just a confusing play by the Giants offensive line. They just let those guys come through a little too quick on this middle screen. Again, watch the guys in the middle. It's Boutte and Gaines, and they just come right up and get into Brown's face. Actually, it wasn't even a middle screen. They came through so easy, I thought they were letting them through.
Now 3rd and 8, down the middle, incomplete, and well covered. Stanley Richard up from the free safety spot, incomplete, with Marshall the intended receiver. And there's the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week from last week and their win at Dallas.
Well, Stanley Richard, a big free agent acquisition from the San Diego Chargers for the Redskins, but really has not tackled and hit early in the season like he has in the past 2 games, and now we see him doing it again in this game.
He had 11 tackles a week ago in Dallas. Well, now into the wind, Brad Delwiso will try a 43-yarder. Giants leading by 7. Low snap. Good kick into the wind and perfect. Delwiso, who has one of the strongest legs in the NFL, is good from 43. And the Giants lead by 10.
And Delwiso makes that kick in part because he keeps a very low trajectory on the ball. We talked about Dave Brown knowing this stadium and knowing this wind. Delwiso knows it too, and he knows, as we said earlier, the higher up the ball is kicked, the more the wind is a factor.
The Giants and Redskins battling it out here on the 10th of December. Shared destiny like we talked about at the top of the day. From 1986 to 1991, the Giants and the Redskins, Super Bowl champs each 2 times. Storied traditions for each side, and now both are faced with really the chore and effort of trying to rebuild.
When both of these teams did go to the Super Bowl, you have to remember they did it not unlike the way they've both played today, by running the football, controlling the football, and winning it in the trenches on the line of scrimmage.
And as you look at the 2 offensive lines, you look at Washington and you can see them very young but getting back into that hog mentality. They have some big bodies on that offensive front.
Big physical mashers just like the Giants.
Tito Wooten with a key interception that leads to 3 points, and we have the trifecta. 3 times now the football is blown off the tee as Delwiso is getting ready to kick.
Really, in a way, it's a relief in this age of passing games and glorified downfield basketball games and football and domes to talk about hogs and mashers.
Giants have run the ball 12 times, thrown only 7, and not much has been deep. This is Mitchell from inside the 10. A good return across the 30 and dropped at the 34. 24-yard return by Brian Mitchell. Well, this Friday on the X-Files, a child could bring peace to the planet or unleash hell on earth. Judgment Day is here on a brand new X-Files, Friday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Fox.
You talk about hogs and mashers. Jim Hanifin, right here, you can see, you know it's Hanifin because you can read the back of his headphones there. There's Hanny. Call him the chief. He is the guy who trained the original hogs, and he's the guy who's training these new hogs.
Schuler across the middle of the field, a dangerous throw, and incomplete, nearly intercepted by Jesse Campbell.
Norv Turner needs to send the passing game, put the passing game back on the tee for Heath Schuler and rebuild his confidence, start throwing again to the tight ends, because this is not a good ball at all. This is a ball that very easily could be intercepted by Jesse Campbell.
Leslie Shepard, the intended receiver, and Heath Schuler is 0 for his last 4, plus 1 interception. Under a minute to play here in the first half. Redskins down by 10. To the sideline and nowhere near catchable. And now 3rd and 10.
That's a total coverage play by the Giants secondary. They had everything covered up. Schuler had no place to go.
Talk to these 2 head coaches and they will highlight their secondary. Norv Turner likes what he has really with his entire back 7, including the linebackers. And Dan Reeves is happy with what he has in his secondary. Thomas Randolph, a bit of a weak link, at least early in his career.
Yeah, Randolph was the guy that the Redskins wanted to go after today. I think they'll do it now with Michael Westbrook.
He's matched up on Westbrook. 3rd and 10, dumped off to Mitchell, and tackled well short of a first down. And there's a big play by Felipe Sparks, and now the Giants will use a timeout. They want a chance to score again, and Felipe Sparks, part of that very good young secondary, helped stop the Redskins short. It's time for Washington to punt.
At 3rd and 10, you would expect the Redskins to throw to the slot, who is wide open. But Heath Shuler has been 0 for 4 on his last long-range intermediate passes, so he goes to the short pass there with Brian Mitchell, and the Redskins end up having to punt.
Which they will do now with Matt Turk. Waiting deep is Arthur Marshall for the 2nd time in this half. Good punt by Turk, and Marshall will call for the fair catch at the Giant 20. 45-yard punt by Turk. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, we'll have all the scores and highlights and Barry Switzer's reaction to his 4th down call. Plus, Tim Green will have his Book On feature on Jamal Duff. That's all coming up on the Dockers halftime, which is 39 seconds away.
Would it surprise you, with the suspect calls that Barry Switzer's had all season, if the Giants don't go to the Super Bowl this year, to see him lose his job?
I guarantee you the Giants are not going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Barry Switzer, the Cowboys.
Okay. It would surprise me a little. Handoff to Hampton. That doesn't make much sense at all. They call timeout to get the ball back, and granted they're going into the wind, but they call timeout to get the ball back, and then they run the football, and they have only 1 timeout left.
Well, I think they called the timeout to stop it in case they got a big return. Now, if you're the Giants and you're playing on a cold day and you're ahead 13-3, you don't want to do anything foolish, and foolish would be throwing into the wind, allowing the Redskins to pick off the ball and run in to close that gap.
So that will be the final play of the half, and a few boos as the Giants head off the field, but they lead by 10. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
Dockers halftime is brought to you by Dockers Khakis, proud makers of nice pants.
And welcome to the Dockers halftime, along with Jimmy Johnson, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. The game at halftime, the Giants leading 4 sacks. They've done it in the Redskins 13-3 at the half. Earlier today, Emmitt Smith, little cold. He did warm up 98 yards in the first half.
First half is when he did all his damage. This touchdown run, he put the Cowboys up. Emmitt's 23rd on the year, one behind John Riggins' NFL record 24. 4th down and a foot. Eagles, the 2nd time they stopped the Cowboys. Gary Anderson now kicks 42-yard field goal. This ends up winning the football game for the Eagles. Gary Anderson's 4th on the day, now with 4th down left. Troy Aikman back, holding. Fuller gets inside, makes the sack, 4th sack on the day of on Troy. He gets up, slams the ball, looks at Eric Williams, his right tackle, screaming and hollering because he's accusing him of giving up on the play. Cowboys give up 20 points to the Eagles and lose 2017. Cowboys held to a total of only 196 yards, lowest in 95. After the game, Barry Switzer questioned about why he went for that 4th and 1 on his own 29, not once but twice.
Because I wanted to make a foot to control the ball, because we kick in the wind, they're going to come back and kick at the field goal to win the thing anyway. So if we keep the ball, maybe there's a chance we got to maybe do something with the time that left that we can win the ball game. If we punt the ball, they're going to get a shot at field goal anyway. That wasn't the difference. I promise. The way we played the 30 minutes of the second half is the difference in the ball game.
Well, now, as you listen to those remarks, I mean, clearly, Jimmy, the least of which he was doing was not expressing any confidence in his defense, but percentages in his own territory, Jimmy?
Well, I don't care if it's high school football, college football, or what have you. You have the ball on your 29-yard line, tied up, 17-17. You kick the football. If you kick the football, even kicking into the wind, Philadelphia starts on their own 35. Now, Dallas's defense stopped them after they turned it over on the 4th down try, so why couldn't they stop them down there at the 35-yard line? He didn't give his team a chance to win this ball game.
Yeah, Barry Switzer has made a huge mistake today. While he thought he would get a foot, he may not realize he may have become a footnote. This is a decision, Jimmy, with the 2-minute warning being given to the Cowboys after they had failed to make it the first time, saved him. Then he came back after talking it over with, didn't change the play, ran the same play again, got burnt the 2nd time. Then he said, well, we were going to lose the football game anyway. You don't ever tell your team, hey, I don't think you can stop them. We're going to lose this football game anyway. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The Cowboys now are faced with having to win hopefully get out to Candlestick Park and play the 49ers and win. But this thing has become a financial thing because you can look for Jerry Jones now to say if we're not here in Dallas, Texas, he's going to lose millions of dollars. And I would not be surprised if Barry Switzer gets fired at the end of the season.
Yeah, right now Philadelphia is in position to possibly, get this, possibly seize the NFC East.
Amazing.
Amazing. I mean, for Dallas, this is one of the great travesties in sports and football. For a team this talented to be in this position at this point in the year, it's ridiculous.
Let me guarantee you this. Jerry Jones would have punted the football from his own 29.
Hey, Jimmy, I go back to this. You said it before. If you were coaching the team, you said you would have been harder on this team as opposed to easier, but yet Barry Switzer said what they needed was a more laid-back coach.
Well, right now they're starting to make some mistakes. They're starting to point fingers. Troy Aikman said it in the pregame show. He talked about, well, hey, you know, things are not exactly right. We're having to be the heavies. We're having to discipline the young players. The coaches need to do that.
First time you kick, you don't kick. You go for it on fourth, you're dumb. Second time you don't kick, go for it on fourth down, you're what?
Dumber. Dumb and dumber. Right. Troy Aikman said what? He said 2 years in the league. He said, I don't think he wants to get more involved. Well, obviously, he won't have to worry about it next year.
That dumb decision cost him because San Francisco earlier today knocked off Carolina comfortably 31-10. San Francisco, as Howie mentions, now controls it. They run the table. They get home field advantage in the playoffs. The Falcons win it 3 field goals over 50 yards. First player in NFL history for Morton Anderson to do that. Bengals beat the Bears by 6. Bengals, Jeff Lake, touchdown pass in 21 consecutive games. Lions win their 6th straight. The magic of Wayne Fontes continues. Buffalo 45-27 over the St. Louis Rams. Buffalo, who would have thunk it? Jacksonville loses to the Indianapolis Colts by 10. High-scoring affair there. The Patriots sweep the Jets for the first time since '88. Pittsburgh is leading Oakland. Howie's Raiders are trailing by 6 that late in the second. And Denver, yes, indeed, I'm sorry, that's right, your Steelers. And the Broncos 20-0 over the Seahawks in Mile High. Terry said, now those are my Steelers, right?
They are today. They are today.
We will take you back to the Meadowlands after this.
Well, minutes away from the start of the second half. The Giants leading by 10. My partner, Tim Green, is also an author. And this week, his book on feature is on rookie Jamal Duff of the Giants. Ready to go on TV, and on top of all the other stuff we just talked about, he looks like he can play.
Well, you've got to love his enthusiasm, not only for the game of football, but his enthusiasm for life. Here's a guy who was recruited by USC, but chose to go to San Diego State to study art over playing football at USC.
This is Herschel Walker as the Giants get it to start the second half. He took it from the 15. He got it to the 31. And we give you a look at the first half numbers. Time of possession dominated by the Redskins, but they trail by 10.
Well, and you have to remember that they dominated time of possession. Part of that is because of the fumble by Thomas Lewis, which gave him the ball right back, the fumble punt, and also because the Giants scored very quickly on the interception.
Meanwhile, the pass yards totaling up 68 yards when you combine the yardage for each side. This has been a game dominated by Hampton and Allen. Rodney Hampton dropped in the backfield. He lost a couple. Stanley Richard up from the safety spot to help out on the tackle.
And the other guy who makes this play really is Rich Owens, the young rookie, and he is not unlike Jamal Duff. In fact, he's also an artist, also a graphics design guy. But we talked about him at the very beginning of the game and the tough role he was going to have against a big physical Jumbo Elliott. On this play, he gets himself upfield past the tight end. It's Aaron Pierce who's blocking him now and makes this tackle in the backfield.
Now second down and 12 after a loss of 2, and Brown is sacked and lucky to hang on to the football. William Gaines again. That's his third outstanding play here today.
We talked about William Gaines having the edge on Greg Bishop. Here he is working on him here. Also, watch Rich Owens working on Jumbo Elliott and getting past him and helping out on this sack. So Bishop is having a very tough day against William Gaines, and Rich Owens, the rookie, is really starting to come on in this second half.
Now 3rd and 17. So the Giants have started out the second half moving backward. Ball resting at their own 24. Setting up a screen to the H-back Pierce. Has a blocker, but brought down from behind, and that saved a first down, and that's Rich Owens.
They call Rich Owens Richie Redskin because the first day he walked in and saw his name on a jersey, he was so excited. Here he comes. He rushes. Now that's Ken Harvey. Actually, he comes from this side here, the left, but he turns around, and it's that enthusiasm and the speed of his pursuit which makes this play and stops the first down.
Chris Callaway had a block downfield on Tom Carter. That might have gone for a first down were it not for the play of Rich Owens. Now Horan, his second punt, into the wind again, and Brian Mitchell will call for the fair catch outside the Redskin 30. So the Skins defense holds. Washington gets it. First possession of the second half, and they trail by 10.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. By EA Sports, makers of NHL 96. If it's in the game, it's in the game. And by DirecTV, it's personalized TV.
Well, the Redskins have it for the first time here in the second half, and Heath Shuler has to get it started again. He started out 7 out of 10 for 72 yards. After that, 1 out of 5 for only 2 yards and an interception. Terry Allen hits the hole hard, and he got about 8, maybe 9 across the 40.
Well, Terry Allen's confidence in that power O play is back again. Ray Brown lead blocking. Here's Brown. He pulls. He leads blocks up through for Allen. And watch 67. Watch the block he makes. Wham. Right there. Neutralizes Michael Brooks. And that's what springs Allen.
Bensie Glenn has a bruised calf and upper arm. And starting here in the second half at free safety is Tito Wooten. Second down and 1. And Terry Allen has a first down across the 45.
One of the worst things about a game like today, in this cold weather, for anybody in the National Football League, is coming out after halftime, because you get a sweat, you get warmed up in the first half, then you go sit down, and that sweat, and then your muscles harden up, and you feel like a cold piece of used chewing gum when you come out of there, out of the tunnel in the second half.
This is Brian Mitchell. First carry of the second half, and a nice gain, forced out of bounds by Campbell. And Brian Mitchell got 9. Where have the Redskins run today?
Well, most of the time, they've run the ball right up the middle, and that's what you would expect. The Giants have done the same thing, and the Redskins have been very successful with the run.
Up the middle, you have Giesick at center, Trey Johnson at right guard, and Ray Brown at left guard. That's where they're strongest. This is Mitchell, and Mitchell gets a Washington first down inside the Giant 45. So we have yet to see a pass from Heath Shuler here in the second half.
I don't see really any reason for the Redskins to force the passing game with Heath Shuler, because in the first half they were very effective running the ball, and now we see him in the second half coming out doing the same.
Toss to Allen running left. Got to the 41. That was it. Tito Wooten up from the safety spot along with Thomas Randolph to make the stop.
The best run plays for the Redskins have been up the middle, have been over the right side, using their big physical guys, Trey Johnson, Ed Simmons, and then pulling Ray Brown from the backside and leading him on up through the hole. But Norv Turner really has to change it up somewhat, because you can't run the same play time after time and expect it to keep working.
Second down and 7. Henry Ellard in motion. He hasn't caught a ball yet. Reverse to Terry Allen. Well played. Corey Miller.
Corey Miller, a guy who had a 6-week hiatus on the bench, came in last week, had a really nice game, established himself, reestablished himself, and here he is right here, comes up, gets through Ray Brown, dodges him, and makes this tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Corey Miller is proving to defensive coordinator Mike Nolan that he was wrong for sitting him on that bench for 6 weeks.
Couple of tackles, the latest one for a loss of 2, and now 3rd and 9. Schuler over the middle, first throw and a half. Westbrook shakes a tackle and jumps and gets a first down. Big physical receiver Michael Westbrook.
You said it earlier.
He was determined to get that first down.
You talked about Norv Turner and how he was the guy who set up the Dallas offense. He made Michael Irvin. He liked him as a big physical wide receiver. And that's part of the reason why Norv Turner chose Michael Westbrook, because he's got the hands, the speed, and he's big and physical. That's when it pays off to be big and physical as a wide receiver.
Redskins needed 9 to get a first down. Westbrook got 10. He has 3 catches here at Giant Stadium today, and now this one incomplete. Trying to set up a screen to Logan, the fullback. Mike Kroll right in the middle of it defensively for the Giants.
One thing about running a screenplay, if the linebackers have man-to-man coverage, it rarely works because one of the linebackers will lock on to the running back. And so wherever that running back goes, so goes the linebacker, and that usually foils a screen.
2nd down and 10. Bensie Glenn back into the game for the Giants, and Terry Allen gets to the 30, and that's it. 3rd and long coming up for Washington.
Henry Ellard still has no catches today. He is their go-to receiver. He's their best guy. And part of the reason why he doesn't have any catches is part of it is Michael Westbrook getting the ball to him. The other part of it is when the ball has been thrown to him, it's been thrown behind him, and he's been covered by Felipe Sparks.
4.5-minute drive for Washington. 3rd down and 8. Nearly picked off, and there's Felipe Sparks again. Asher, the intended receiver, and the pass incomplete.
We talked about Felipe Sparks and the multiple dimensions he has as a quarterback. Yeah, he can cover. Yeah, he can hit. And here he does it both. He covers the tight end, and then he hits him and just knocks that ball right out of there. And it's not like he knocked the ball out of the hands of a lithe wide receiver. He slams into a tight end and shakes that ball loose.
And now on 4th down and 8, Eddie Murray will come on and try the field goal of 47 yards. Kicking with the wind. Good snap, good hold. Coming back, and no good, short. That ball came back for Murray, but dropped a couple of yards short. Eddie Murray's been short all day. Giants still lead by 10. 18 degrees at the start of the day, and the temperature has been dropping.
I told you, everything freezes up, and as a player, you feel like a cold piece of used chewing gum. You just get real stiff and tight, and everything hurts.
2 tight ends to start out with for the Giants. And they hand to Hampton, and another fine play by William Gaines. Well, he's had a good game. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, a drive of 4 minutes 55 seconds, an 11-play drive comes up short when, with the wind, Eddie Murray is short on a 47-yard field goal try.
There's Greg Bishop. He's the guy, once again, working on William Gaines, and William Gaines really dominating Greg Bishop today on the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 9, and Brown will try to run. Doesn't get much. Across the 40, that was it. A Barry Sanders update on a McDonald's game break. Back to Hollywood and back to JV.
So not typical Barry Sanders numbers with 54 yards on the ground, but on this touchdown run, he goes over 10,000 yards rushing for his career. 10th player in NFL history to do that. The Lions win their 5th straight, continue to march toward the playoffs. Let's take it back to Joe Buck and Tim Green.
You talked about Green Bay maybe being one of the tougher teams in the NFC, one of the hottest. How about Detroit?
Yeah, the way they're playing, they could knock anyone off as well.
Detroit already beat the 49ers earlier in the year. 3rd down and 6. And Brown is dropped. Penalty flag on the play, but Brown is sacked by Patton. Third Redskins sack. Penalty is against the Giants, and they'll be forced to punt.
Penalty, number 76 of the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Dan Reeves a little hot with Thomas Lewis. I think Lewis ran the wrong route and gave Dave Brown nowhere to go. You see Reeves right there barking at Thomas Lewis. So possibly, probably, definitely another screw up for Thomas Lewis.
Thomas Lewis has had a tough time grasping this offense, an NFL-style offense. Here's Moran. Ugly punt into the wind, end over end. And Mitchell can't get to it. Great bounce for the Giants inside the 15, still rolling. Think there's any wind down in the field? Down at the 10. A 52-yard punt from Mike Horan. Ugly but useful. And the Redskins will get it back, start at their own 10. They're down by 10 with 6:19 left to play in the third quarter.
I've been forced to practice patience that would have put Job to shame. But as they say, patience has its own reward. And the reward will be a state-of-the-art stadium seating 78,600 fans. There will be amenities galore. Perhaps the most important amenity of all is that my family and I are paying for the stadium lock, stock, and barrel.
That is Jack Kent Cooke, the owner of the Washington Redskins, coming to an agreement with Prince George's County. 78,000-seat stadium in Landover, Maryland, and they hope to have it ready for 1997. Terry Allen gets a couple over the left side. And now the Redskins just have to have a better team to put into that stadium. So now you have Maryland. The state of Maryland had no NFL team since 1984. Now it looks like they may have two, as the latest reports have the Cleveland Browns ending up in Baltimore.
The great thing about that new stadium is it's outdoors, it's grass, it's a football stadium.
You love that, don't you?
I do.
You just had to get that in. Second down and 6. Incomplete for Logan. Not a bad throw, and Mark Logan just could not hang on to it. 3rd and 6.
Logan's open because Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, sent his linebackers on the blitz, and that freed up Logan, and Logan has got to make that catch. Once again, you talk about the cold, and Logan has not had the ball go his way very much today at all. There's Mike Nolan right there. So when he does get his opportunity, of course, his hands are cold, they're frozen up a little bit, and you lose the sensitivity in your fingers.
Heath Schuler 9 out of 19 for 84 yards and an interception. 3rd and 6. To the sideline, wide open and caught shy of the 35, and that's the first catch of the day for Henry Ellard, good for 20. Henry Ellard last year in this stadium had 197 yards, but so far the Giants have been able to shut him down.
This is one of Heath Schuler's first long completions of the day. Just see here what he did, under 6, very strong, 6 of 9, but the further away you get, the worse Heath Schuler gets.
That one good for 20, and now Terry Allen gets a couple. Got it across the 35-yard line on 1st down, and Mike Kroll there to make the stop for the Giants.
Well, you talk about the future of the Redskins and moving to Maryland. Terry Allen is a guy who really was the best free agent acquisition in the offseason for the money. $450,000 for a year. He gave him 1,000 yards, and he wants to come back. He said to us yesterday he doesn't think he's got many more years to play in the NFL. He wants to finish them out with the Redskins.
He got 2, 2nd down and 8. Schuler has time across the middle. Asher, the tight end, into Giants territory. Jesse Campbell there to make the stop, and 4 Giants can't bring down Jamie Asher.
Yeah, Asher was not going to give up at all. He was just going to keep going and move forward and not let them take him down. Again, you talk about the comparison of Westbrook to Michael Irvin in Dallas. You have to look at Jamie Asher, and he even wears the same number as Jay Novacek, the outstanding Pro Bowl tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. So Norv Turner really trying to replicate, and who can blame him, what he did in Dallas for the Redskins.
Asher, 4 catches for 50 yards on first down. Terry Allen is met by Miller, runs through Miller and got a couple. Jesse Campbell finally there for the Giants. Penalty flag on that play.
Norv Turner told us yesterday one of the things he appreciates about Terry Allen, as much as his big plays, his breakaway runs, are these 3, 4, 5-yard carries that Allen has gotten all season long on his own. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he keeps going. He's a very tough physical runner.
Norv Turner wondering what the call is. There was a flag down on that last play.
On the play. The defender had the jersey of the player. Therefore, there's no face mask. Second down.
So a question about a possible face mask call. But no penalty is called.
Top of the screen is where Terry Allen runs. Again, Ray Brown, 67, with the lead block. It's Corey Miller who had a hold of him, and it looked like the mask, but it was, in fact, the jersey.
Second down and 8. Change of direction to Terry Allen. Doesn't get much. Michael Strahan, the first to meet Allen around the Giant 45.
What the Giants defensively now are trying to do is they're putting pressure on the front side, so the front side of the run, and they're bringing guys from the backside. Here it's Jesse Armstead. Watch him run. He runs into Ray Agnew, but the Giants and Mike Nolan is trying to send his outside linebackers from the backside of the play to chase Terry Allen down from behind.
Allen got only 1. Third down and 7, and 6 defensive backs come in for the Giants on defense. Over the middle, caught. First down. Galbraith inside the 30. Tito Wooten finally makes the stop after a gain of 16 yards.
We talked about the Hogs earlier in the game. Here's the Hogs. Here's Ray Brown at the center of it, working on the pass protection. And he gets some help from Trey Johnson, and they knock these guys down like bowling pins. And then Trey Johnson gives him another shot, Robert Harris, to just keep him down. You're down, and you're going to stay down. And you got a 350-pounder knocking you around. I can't blame Harris for staying down.
Now first down inside the Giant 30. Schuler steps up. He is tough on the run. Inside the 20, and another Redskin first down. And one thing you have with Heath Schuler, while he's trying to get established in the NFL, is he can run with the football.
And Norv Turner compared him yesterday to Steve Young in his younger days, in that if he doesn't have the ball, if he doesn't have the receiver downfield, and he feels the pressure there, and it's Jesse Armstead on his feet, Schuler has the athletic ability and the physical toughness to handle those downfield hits.
That Washington offensive line is working. Trouble with the snap. Penalty flag on the play, and no signal yet.
Yeah, it's offsides against the Redskins.
We'll wait for the official word.
Fast start on the left guard. 5 yards. It's still first down.
So because of the illegal procedure, no play, no fumble, even though the Giants fell on top of it.
Bad break for the Giants. When it's the offense that's offsides, the whistle goes off right away and stops this play.
So that will cost Washington 5 yards, but they will gladly trade 5 yards, down 10 for the football. Coming up on just a minute left in the third quarter, and a 1st and 15 for Heath Schuler and the Redskins. Quick out, Westbrook. What a hit from Sparks. He got 5.
I mean, if you love football, you've got to love Felipe Sparks. A guy who has the athletic ability to cover these guys, and we talked about him all day, but every time we see him, if he's not covering somebody, he's knocking the fillings out of their teeth.
A gain of only 6, and Westbrook took a thump from Sparks. Listen.
Talk about the crack of a pass, and that's on a cold day. Don't forget, it hurts twice as much.
Second down and 9. Schuler has time, finds Shepard. What a catch inside the 15. How did Leslie Shepard hang on to that throw?
Schuler threw that pass also with some very serious heat on him. Chad Bratsky was right on his back, and you said it very well. In the cold, and we talked about guys losing the sensitivity in their fingers all day. Leslie Shepard just hangs on to it, takes a big hit from Jason Sehorn, but keeps going.
A gain of only 3 and a 3rd down and 6 when we come back. Heath Schuler took a hit, and that will end the 3rd quarter. With a score of the Giants 13, the Redskins 3. Washington moving in. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
And welcome back to the start of the 4th quarter. Joe Buck and Tim Green. And by the way, this is not our phone number down in front of the booth.
Yeah, it is. I told my wife I'd put it up.
So if you have any problems with what Tim Green has been saying all afternoon, there you go.
No, it's not for anybody. It's just for my wife, Alyssa. She can call me if she needs to get a hold of me.
Oh, that's the booth number.
Exactly.
Oh, not the home number.
No. Are you kidding? In New York, you think I'd leave my home number up?
Thought you were smarter than that. I know you're smarter than that. The numbers that matter, 13-3, New York. Schuler on 3rd down, end zone, incomplete, and well covered again by Felipe Sparks.
Well, we said the guy is just playing outstanding football. He's done it all season long. We've seen him knocking guys around in the field today. Today we see him show his speed. Right now on this play we see him show his speed because Ellard has been separated. Ellard separated himself from Felipe Sparks, but as soon as the ball goes up, Sparks closes the gap and knocks that ball out of there.
So now Eddie Murray will come on 4th and 6 to try a 30-yard field goal. Murray's been good from 35, but short twice from 36 and 47, and again this is into the wind. Good snap, good hold, good kick. So Eddie Murray is 2 for 4, and he has been the only one to finish today for the Redskins. Giants lead now by 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
That's actually footage that Fox stole from David Copperfield when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. By the way, on a cold day, neither offense has reached the end zone. And because Eddie Murray's kicking into the wind, he squibs it, and Charles Way takes it. And the Giants will still end up with very good field position at their own 40. We'll take a break, come back. Giants lead by 7. They have the ball just underway in the 4th quarter. Well, next week on Fox NFL Sunday, it's a tough NFC East matchup as the Cardinals take on the Eagles, plus other exciting regional action, followed at 4 p.m. Eastern by a battle between the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. That's next weekend right here on Fox. The Redskins have had the ball for 29 minutes in this game. The Giants only 16 minutes, 11 seconds. But the Giants lead by 7. They start with it at their own 40, and Brown is sacked. Rich Owens, that's his 2nd of the year.
I said during the game, I spoke to this guy before the game. He was enthusiastic in the first part of the season just to have a Redskins jersey with his name on it. They call him Richie Redskin. If you thought he was excited then, you should have seen his eyes in the locker room before this football game. His first NFL start, and it's really a dream thing for him. Coming out of Lehigh University, a small university in the Washington area, Pennsylvania area, this guy's pumped up.
The Giants now are under 90 yards of total offense here today, yet they lead by 7. Dumped off to Pierce, and he is dropped by Ken Harvey. And the Giants are going backward. As you look at the numbers, the Giants offensively have done little or nothing in total yards. You can minus a few more.
Yeah, the Redskins really have dominated this ball game except for that punt return that went for the touchdown by Thomas Lewis. That was the big turning point in this game. And the Giants defense has done a nice job. Although the Redskins have moved up and down the field, they've kept the Redskins out of the end zone. They've shut down Heath Shuler in critical plays.
Now 3rd down and 23. Penalty flag on the play, and again, the play did not happen.
Before the snap was made, false start. Number 76, 5 yards, it's still 3rd down.
Now 3rd and 28. Jumbo Elliott guilty of the false start.
Well, Jumbo Elliott jumped the way a lot of offensive linemen jump when Ken Harvey is lined up across from him in a nickel situation. Harvey really the center of this Redskins defense, and you know, no matter what the records, no matter what the time, no matter what the temperature, Ken Harvey is going to come at you. He's going to come at you with everything he's got.
So now on 3rd and 28, Brown to put it up. Over the middle, Marshall incomplete. In and out of his hands, covering Stanley Richard, but Marshall could have come away with it, could not find the handle. On a McDonald's game break, back to Hollywood, back to James Brown.
Hey, Joe, in case you missed it, the most controversial play of the year, Dallas 4th and 1 from their own 29. Go for it. Emmitt Smith to stop. That led to this game winner, 42-yarder by Gary Anderson. Eagles up in the Cowboys by 3. Back to Joe Buck.
Thank you, James. That's now 3 drives here in the second half for the Giants, and 3 straight 3 and out. Mitchell again lets it get past him. On the hop, he is dropped at the 20. Brian Kozlowski in the middle of it for the Giants. A 55-yard punt by Mike Curran. Washington has it back. They trail by 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, performance, and value are never optional. By Dockers Flat Front Khakis, proud makers of nice pants. And by Intel, the world's leading maker of microprocessors.
Well, the Giants punt coverage team has done a good job today on the game's best. Brian Mitchell, only 1 return in 4 chances for -2 yards. Mitchell fair caught 1. And for the most part, Mike Curran and that punt coverage team has shut down a big part of the Washington attack. He figures in very heavily, and he's been shut down. So the Redskins start at their own 20, down by 7, and toss to Terry Allen. Terry Allen across the 30 with a first down, and thrown down by Jamal Duff, shy of the 35. Gain of 14.
Once again, Jamal Duff showing that enthusiasm. He and Rich Owens for the Redskins are really in similar situations because they're young, rangy guys. Duff comes from the opposite side of the field to make this play downfield. And when you're a defensive lineman, you only make these kind of plays if you're just going all out, your throttle's wide open.
Here's Allen. He'll try the right side. And right now, you would definitely have to say that the Washington Redskins offensive line is outplaying the New York Giants offensive line.
They are running the ball so effectively that I really can't understand why North Turner doesn't just keep it going and just march right down the length of the field.
Allen over 100 yards, and the Redskins this season are 4-0 when Terry Allen rushes for 100 yards or better. Michael Westbrook comes into the lineup on 2nd down and 6. Again, this time he tries the middle, and he gets another first down at the Washington 45.
I talked early in the game about how quickly Allen hits that hole, like a stiletto, like the blade coming out of a stiletto. He just absolutely finds the seam so quick with his vision and then accelerates through it. There really is a very small space for him to get through, but he gets through it. Here's the right guard and the right tackle, and they are just crushing Keith Hamilton. Hamilton has got a bad back anyway, and when a guy's got a bad back, what do? Throw 2 appliances at him.
Allen this time does nothing. Wrestled down in the backfield by Michael Brooks.
It's really not that complicated what the Washington Redskins are doing with the run game. They're doubling down on Keith Hamilton with the right guard and right tackle. They're pulling Ray Brown and having him lead around to the other side. And then every once in a while, they're mixing it up by running Terry Allen to the left side of their offense towards the perimeter.
Allen got back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10. Swing out pass for Terry Allen. Makes a move, breaks a tackle, gets to the Giant 45, and brought down right at the 1st down marker by Sparks.
Once again, it's a safe, conservative pass for Heath Shuler. It's an easy pass. Just dump the ball off to Terry Allen and then let him do his thing. He makes Thomas Randolph miss. Felipe Sparks makes that tackle. Randolph misses.
Heath Shuler now 6 of his last 7 throws. They give Terry Allen and the Redskins a 1st down on that throw. And Washington now has it at the New York 45. Play action. To the sideline, wide open is Allen. Pops out of bounds, and this time Felipe Sparks fell down.
That's about the only way you're going to beat Felipe Sparks and beat him by that much. Here he is right here working on Ellard, and he slips. And sometimes everybody's going to slip, and that's what causes it. He goes for the change of direction. It's a nice break by Henry Ellard. It's also a nice throw. That's a deep outcut by Heath Shuler. Quarterbacks will tell you, especially into the wind, that's the toughest pass to make.
Terry Allen inside the 25. And the Redskins right now are just flat out running over the Giants defense.
Terry Allen and the way he's running is inspiring his offensive line. These guys are going to block harder, get into their blocks, drive their feet more because they know that Terry Allen is going to find the smallest crease and then hit it and then knock somebody down in the Giants defensive secondary.
Allen 27 carries for 116 yards. Now they change up and hand to Mitchell. And he goes sideways at the 25. Michael Brooks there to stop for the Giants.
Michael Brooks is lucky that it's Mitchell running that ball and not Terry Allen, because the Giants defenders knew today when they hit Terry Allen, they had to hit him low. He's a low center of gravity guy who packs a heavy punch for a small running back. And if you tackle him high, then he just keeps going. He knocks it backwards and makes you look very bad.
3rd down and 3 for the Redskins. Mitchell again to the 20 and a 1st down for Washington. They needed 3. He got 4.
Well, we've talked about how the run game for the Redskins has been simple. They're pulling the offside guard. They're running to the right. They change it up a little bit. And when you know what the guys are going to do, here it is. Ray Brown pulls. He's the lead. Here's the block here to seal on the defensive tackle. There it is, the double team. They get a wash. And when you know where the guys are going to run and you know the players are going to run, now it comes down to being a physical battle. Who can beat who?
Play action to Terry Allen, and Shuler's just going to run. A running play all the way, and Shuler inside the 20. Forced out of bounds around the 18 by Corey Miller.
Now you start worrying about the guard and the running play. Here's the running play. You start worrying about that, and then the next thing you know, you see the same look on the very next play, only this time Shuler hangs onto the ball. It was a nice reaction, a nice football reaction by Corey Miller to come out of the run game and chase Shuler out of bounds.
2nd down and 8. Shuler has to run. He is dropped short of the 15. Willie Beeman on the stop along with Jamal Duff, a gain of 3, and now 3rd and 5.
That's what Heath Shuler did as a quarterback in Tennessee. Now, in the NFL, Heath Shuler is going to have to evolve into, if he's going to succeed, he's got to evolve into a guy that goes from his first pass read to his second pass read to his third pass read before he runs. In Tennessee, he did what he did on that last play, first pass read and then run.
Best drive of the day for the Redskins, but 3rd and 5. Mitchell out of the backfield inside the 10. Another Washington first down. Brought down at the 7, and it will be 1st and goal for the Redskins. And what a combination, Mitchell and Terry Allen.
Yeah, two dangerous weapons alternating each other, and Mitchell with the sure hands. Again, this is the safe pass by Heath Shuler, and I will still contend that North Turner is trying too much to involve Heath Shuler in winning this game. He's going to the play pass when really he might as well just keep running the ball. Just hand it to Terry Allen and slam it in there.
From the 7, Terry Allen. Still fighting down inside the 5 to the 4, maybe the 3. What a great effort by Terry Allen.
Look, a guy who comes back from 2 knee injuries, rehabs himself, runs for 1,000-yard games 3 out of his 4 healthy years. This is what you expect from him. That's how he does it. He does it because his heart is as big as his helmet. He's completely stopped there. He's completely stopped, but he just keeps going. And heck, the only way to bring this guy down is practically put a bullet in him.
And a timeout called by the Giants. They have got to figure it out defensively. 2nd and goal for Washington when we come back. Redskins trying to tie it up. Well, this Giants defense had to call a timeout to figure some things out. They have been flat run over on this drive by Washington, which has covered 13 plays in almost 8 minutes from the clock.
And this Giants defense, remember, has had an inordinate amount of pressure put on them by the Giants offense going 3 and out almost the entire second half.
2nd and goal. Hand off to Logan, the up back. He got to the 1. 3rd and goal coming up. How about those numbers? In this second half, Washington 200 total yards. The Giants 3 and out every time, -7.
And that's what happens to a defense. Any defense, even the best, is going to get worn down when they really don't have time even for a drink on the sideline.
3 tight ends into the lineup for the Redskins on 3rd and goal. Allen didn't get it. And now 4th and goal from inside the 1.
That is really a nice job by the Giants defensive front. The Redskins did everything they could. They pulled the big guy, Trey Johnson, around 77. Watch him pulling around. He gets up ahead of steam and leads. It's Michael Brooks who gets in there and neutralizes Trey Johnson. And then it's Felipe Sparks there to polish off the tackle.
When you're 4 and 9, 4th and goal from inside the 1, you go for it. Allen, touchdown Washington. No secret who you go to when you need it, Terry Allen.
And no secret where you run the ball. You run it, the same play that's worked for you all the way down the field. The same running play that beat the Dallas Cowboys last year. It's the double team with the 2 big guys on the right side, and you lead Ray Brown around on the pull from the opposite side.
8th touchdown of the year for Terry Allen. That's the first offensive touchdown of the day. 16 plays covering 80 yards. Allen punches it through on 4th and goal, and now Eddie Murray ties it. 3:35 to play, 4th quarter, and the Redskins rolling over the Giants defense. Punch it in on 4th and goal. Tie game.
When a 10-year veteran, 315-pound hog, can beat the running back to the hole on the goal line, it's a thing of beauty. Who's the block on? Felipe Sparks. The Giants defense has asked Felipe to do a lot today. This is one thing no cornerback can do. Stop the momentum and the impact of Ray Brown.
Now Eddie Murray this time forgets about the squib kick. Kicks it to Thomas Lewis, short of the 20. Gets across the 30, and that is it. This has been a second half dominated by Washington. The Giants have the ball, and they've got to get it going.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
When you look at the time of possession and the Giants defense, you can understand why these guys were a little flat on that last Redskins possession.
Yeah, and why they're hanging their heads on the bench, and some of the guys don't even have the energy to take their helmets off.
That's why they're tired. And in this half, minus 7 yards of total offense. Meanwhile, the Redskins this half, 201 yards. Hampton back to the ground, and a nice gain on first down across the 35 to the 39. Tony Woods there to make the stop after a gain of 7. Well, we told you that Terry Bradshaw is a busy man, and tonight he hosts a 1-hour special on Fox. Find out which one of your favorite athletes will become part of sports history. Watch the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year Award tonight. 7 Eastern, 6 Central here on Fox. Short of a first down on second down, brought down by Rod Stevens, is Rodney Hampton.
And the Giants have taken a play out of the Redskins playbook, pulling the backside, actually pulling the front side guard, Rob Zadika, right there, 73, pulling him as the Redskins pulled and led with Ray Brown.
But not having the same kind of success, and now faced with 3rd and 1. And Brown will take it, try to get it, and it's going to be close.
Well, Brown really went the wrong way, because if you've got to make it short, why would you go towards Greg Bishop, where he's been dominated all day by William Gaines?
He just did get the first down, although we're going to have a discussion here because the official has already signaled first down. The chains have moved on the far side of the field, but on the near side, and I don't blame him, Norv Turner was saying, you got to be kidding me. Why aren't you measuring? I don't blame Norv Turner one bit. He wants to know why, just by sight, they have automatically given the Giants a first down when it looked like, and now they're going to bring the chains back, it looked like Dave Brown could have been stopped short.
The referee signaled an error. He looked at the wrong line spot.
So the referee looked at the wrong spot, the referee being Jerry Austin, who just gave us that call. They measure, and indeed, the Giants are short. Score 1 for Norv Turner, and there was no question that it was close at best for Dave Brown. So the Giants still do not have a first down this half. Now they have the decision. 4th and less than a yard. Do you go for it in a tie game in your own territory? The answer after the 2-minute warning. 1:59 to go, and a big decision coming up for the Giants. Well, Dan Reeves faced with just about the same decision that Barry Switzer had to make today in Philadelphia for Dallas. They went for it on 4th and 1 or less than 1. Didn't get it, and now the Giants are faced with that.
You saw how tired that defense was. I think that the Giants really have no choice but to go for this now, because to send this game into overtime is to take the chance that your defense is going to have to go out on the field, and this tired, worn-out defensive group cannot stop Norv Turner's offense.
4th and 1. He got it. Rodney Hampton gets it, and as we've been praising Terry Allen, you have to say the same about Rodney Hampton.
Well, we talked about Hampton early in the game. We called him the Old County Plow, and he showed it on that play. Just all power, drive to get this first down and keep the Giants in this game.
Giants have 2 timeouts remaining. Play action. With the wind, Brown to the air. Callaway, his first catch inside the Washington 45. A gain of 16.
And you have to credit Callaway for separating himself from Tom Carter, the cornerback. He made that throw very easy for Dave Brown.
At the end of this game, Tim and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Dave Brown has the fortune of going with the wind as time runs down in this one. And a first down at the Washington 42. Play action again. Dumped off to Way, the fullback. Fights to the 40, that's it. Brad Dalwiso is quite a weapon to have over on the sideline for the Giants. In 1995, his long is 51 yards. He's done that twice. His career long is 54 yards. It may come down to Dalwiso. Timeout, New York. They're left with only one. Well, now this Washington Redskins defense is put to the test.
Well, Norv Turner told us yesterday they're playing with more confidence than he's ever seen, and this is a true test.
The Giants really looking at about 5-6 more yards to have a realistic chance for a Dalwiso game-winning field goal. Brown to throw. Deep. Touchdown, Callaway. No flags. 40 yards from Dave Brown, and the Giants regain the lead.
What a wonderful pass by Dave Brown. It's almost like he was dormant the entire game, and then when everything is on the line and the time is running out, he finds Callaway with just an exceptional downfield throw.
And again, they were looking at only 5 or 6 more yards to get into field goal range, and the Giants open it up with the wind. 40 yards to Callaway, and now Dalwiso to tack on the extra point.
That really was a daring pass and a daring play to call with the free safety sitting right there in the middle of the field.
They went for it on 4th and 1. A handful of plays later, 40 yards into the end zone to Callaway.
Now Dave Brown's offensive line does an outstanding job. Callaway sells the outside route, and then that you just can't place that ball any better than that right there. Watch the protection. Dave Brown unmolested, Callaway separating himself and then maintaining his concentration despite the fact that Carter comes up over the top of him. Look at those guys work. Talk about hogs. The big blue hogs came through on that play.
Tom Carter trying to come over the top, couldn't get there. Brown to Callaway for 40 yards. Chris Callaway had 0 catches until the last drive, and he came up with 2 catches for 56 yards and the touchdown.
He told us yesterday that he only expected to get 2 or 3 catches today, and they were 2 big ones.
Dalwiso to kick it back to Washington. There'll be about a minute left, and the Redskins have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. But it'll be in the hands of young Heath Shuler. From inside the 10, Mitchell. Huge return across the 40 and into Giants territory. Penalty flags come in late. And Brian Mitchell, you know, sooner or later he will make his presence felt on special teams, and he does it, and the Redskins absolutely need him to.
He really makes this task so much easier for Heath Shuler.
It's a 55-yard return.
Personal foul on the kicking team, number 3, tackling by the face mask. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
That's on the kicker, Brad Dalwiso. Well, Dalwiso's got to do anything he can to bring Mitchell down, but that's just something that, I mean, you can't do it. It gives him 15 more yards. It's a critical error, but watch Mitchell use his speed, and watch the brutal stiff arm he gives Dalwiso. Watch it right here. Just stiff arms him, slams him, and then Dalwiso doesn't know what's going on. He gets hit so hard in the head by Mitchell.
It's the 15-yard penalty that turns a 55-yard return into a 70-yard return in essence by Mitchell.
How about the stiff arm? just slams him and spins Del Riso right around.
And now the Redskins needing a touchdown to tie. Have over a minute left, all 3 of their timeouts, and they start inside the Giant 25. Tipped and still nearly caught by Ashley Shepard. Coleman Rudolph got a hand on it.
Well, Schuler may not have had to win the game for the Redskins last week against the Cowboys, but he's got to win the game now. Coleman Rudolph earlier with the sack, this time with the hands up in the air. That's a very difficult thing for a defensive lineman to do, with a big guy in his face on top of him, to know when to leap and to get that hand on the ball coming out very fast.
2nd down and 10. Pump fake. End zone, no one there.
That looked like a total miscommunication between Heath Schuler and Michael Westbrook, who, again, because of injury, has not had a lot of time with practice this season.
Now 51 seconds left. Really, time not much of an issue because the Redskins have all 3 of their timeouts left. But down in distance is definitely an issue. 3rd and 10. Schuler incomplete. Had 2 receivers in the same spot, and now 4th and 10 off the hands of Shepard, who had Galbraith right behind him.
We said Schuler had to win this game for them, but he's definitely got to get some help too. He's got to get some help from his receivers, and Leslie Shepard gives him nothing on that play.
Now 4th and 10. And this very weary Giants defense hoping to line up for their final play of the day. Wide open and dropped. Ellard, the intended receiver, and it's Thomas Randolph coming over to make the hit. And the Giants defense holds.
That's exactly where you would expect the Redskins to go. Norv Turner told us yesterday Randolph was the weak link in their secondary. They go to their go-to guy, Henry Ellard, but it's Randolph on this play. He even gets spun around. Ellard gets himself open, and really, I think if Schuler delivers that ball better, quicker and faster, it's a touchdown.
I agree with you, but remember this. When you talk to Dave Brown, he'll tell you going into the wind, throwing left, which is what Heath Schuler had to do there. Dave Brown doesn't even think to do it because it just takes too long because it's going right into the wind.
That's a great point. So the stadium and the wind helped to beat the Redskins on that play.
Heath Schuler, his first game ever here at Giant Stadium, and it showed there. Hampton now running the ball. Timeout taken by Washington. They're left with 2 timeouts, but that should do it. 37 seconds away from victory of the Giants. Washington dominated, but the Giants have the lead. 37 seconds left. The Giants with the ball and the lead. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. For the most part, offensively, Washington had a very good day, but when they needed to punch it into the end zone, having great field position, they couldn't move the ball at all.
Well, we knew coming into this game, everyone knew that the Redskins could run the ball and run it effectively behind this new generation of hogs, the big beefy guys with Terry Allen behind them. The question is still out on Heath Schuler.
Felipe Sparks is our Miller Lite player of the game, and on a very tired Giants defense, he really had a good day helping to shut down Henry Ellard and really helping to support on run plays.
Yeah, that was the key, because Felipe really went above and beyond what a normal cornerback does in shutting down a receiver to involving himself equally as well in the run game.
Hampton got a first down on that last carry. 18 carries for 78 yards today for Rodney Hampton. And we'll have one more snap, then a timeout, and then that should just about do it.
And while Heath Schuler is an enigma, Dave Brown is really an enigma too, because he goes along and just kind of slogs along, does nothing with his offense, and then when you need him to come through on that last series, he came through as good as any quarterback could.
With the 40-yard touchdown throw to Callaway. NASDAQ postgame report is coming up after. Last timeout called for by Washington, and we will have one more snap. Redskins are already heading off the field, not realizing that the game is not officially over. Today's game is being produced by Michael Burks and directed by Joe Assetti. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Back to the 40-yard touchdown throw to Chris Callaway, which in essence wins the game.
And the offensive line, everything went right offensively for the Giants on that play. The line gave Dave Brown the time. Dave Brown gave Callaway the ball. Callaway beats the coverage. Everything all the way around worked for the Giants, and you see that play there and you think this has got to be an offense that has some real explosive potential. But that series there was the only time we saw almost anything out of the Giants all day long.
Dave Brown will end the day 10 out of 12 for 91 yards and a touchdown. That's the last snap of the day. Two teams coming in at 4 and 9, merely shadows of their former selves, battle it out on a cold day, December 10th. A good game, a well-played game, at times an exciting game, and the end result, a win for the New York Giants. 20-13, that's the final score. It's the NASDAQ postgame report coming up. JB will be along right after this with scores and highlights from around the NFL. Have a fantastic Sunday evening.